Jared, thanks. It's our Storm Team's favorite time of the week. We're going to pass it back to Jared for today's edition of our Storm Team Student of the Week.
Well, it's our favorite segment of the week. That is Storm Team Student of the Week. With me is Colton Byrd. Colton, are you excited to be here, man?
Yes.
Yes, today. So today we're going to be talking more about frontal boundary stuff and more weather. But what's your favorite thing about weather?
Snow and when it's warm.
Well, snow and when it's warm. So when it's cold and it's not snowing, you're not happy, right? But when it's snowing and you get out of school, you're what?
Yeah.
Excited and happy, just like everyone else, right? That's the way I was when I was little. But either way, we're getting into the month of January, and we might see a few chances of snow. But first and foremost, Colton, where do you go to school at?
Holston Elementary.
That's correct. And what grade are you in?
Third.
And what's it near?
Tri-Cities Airport.
That's correct. So it's probably a very loud school day throughout the week due to all the planes incoming. But you think that's really pretty cool, don't you? Just get to see the planes come in and leave all the time?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of just loud?
I'm used to it by now.
You used to it by now? Okay, that's fair enough. I bet I'd probably get used to it as well. But today we're going to be talking more about stationary fronts, and we've been going over it and over it again. What does the word stationary mean?
Not moving.
Not moving, that's correct. So neither air mass is overtaking the other, right? So you got a cold air mass as well as the warm air mass. And what does the warm air do? What does the warm air do to its just own nature? It rises, and cold air does what?
Sinks.
That is correct. So the air masses are barely moving, the cold air mass as well as the warm air mass. And you can see this is typically what a stationary front typically looks like on a surface map. You can see area of low pressure. You can see that cold air mass, that warm air mass, and warm air rises. And winds are not really moving in either direction. So you're not really seeing that northerly wind component or that southerly wind component. You're definitely seeing some clouds though, because due to warm air and it's rising, what does that cause?
Flooding.
That does cause flooding, right? So as the warm air continues to rise, it can make clouds and cause rain showers for a prolonged period of time. So when you see a stationary front, be aware of what again?
Flooding.
That is correct. So when you see a stationary front on a surface map in your general vicinity, just be aware that you could potentially see some flooding because we will likely see rain for a prolonged period of time. But Colton, you have any questions for me?
No.
Give me a fist bump. Say back to you.
Back to you.
If you have a child who would like to be our Storm Team Student of the Week, log on to WJHL.com. Storm Team Students of the Week must be in grades K through 5 and attend a school within the Tri-Cities viewing area.